Hello, welcome everyone to this new edition of Juniper webinar. My name is Ismael Van Domselaar and I'm here today to explain the concept of multicurrency. On the right side of your screen you have a control panel in where you will be able to make questions throughout the presentation, and in one moment I will make a brief pause to reply to all the questions up until that point, and in case any of those remains without an answer, we will make sure to reply via email. So let's see the different points we will talk about in this presentation. First of all, we'll start with an introduction. Then we will explain the concept of multicurrency. How does it work? Which added value does it offer to your business? Then we'll make a live presentation showing some of the things we will be talking about during this presentation. And last but not least, we will make a brief conclusion to make an overview of everything said until that point. So let's start with the introduction. In this diagram, you have a big picture of Juniper as a whole. On the left side, you have all the different kinds of product highlighted in different colors. On the top, you have the part that corresponds to the XML suppliers, and then at the bottom, the own contracts. Then all this product is processed in this part in the middle that are all the modules that are directly related to the booking engine. Those are technical, or either technical or maybe related to accounting, for instance. Then all these processed product has to be distributed through all these different channels. We have the responsive websites, we have white label, etc. So now you have highlighted in orange all the different modules that have a previous Juniper webinar edition, and you can check those videos in YouTube, for instance. Today we are here to talk about multicurrency, and as you can see, we have placed it in here. So what is multicurrency? The multicurrency module allows the customers to operate with different currencies without having to contract multiple sales channels. Before this module existed, to work with different currencies, it was necessary to have additional sales channels, since it only allowed one currency per channel. To explain the multicurrency module, it is important to contextualize it within the currency configuration settings, since each channel has a predefined base currency. It is possible to buy and sell in different currencies. So to explain this, we have this little example of any distribution flow. We started with a hotel in London that sells to the Spanish web, that is a way to call to the Juniper client, and this Juniper client also sells this product to their customer in the USA. So in both the purchase to the supplier and the sale to the client, you may have to apply an exchange rate. In this case, there are two, which are managed manually or automatically from the currency maintenance settings, which we will show later on the demonstration. All these currency exchange rates are reflected in the booking, so the user can review them later, since the exchange rate may vary from time to time. So following that same case scenario, why does it interest us to show the different conversion rates 6 months later, for instance? And that's because of these two examples. If the website or the Juniper client wishes to pay the supplier, the first step will be going to the booking, and in there, the exchange rate in which it was bought will appear. This rate might have suffered an increment or a decrement due to the time that has passed between one operation and the other. As we mentioned before, In this example, it's 6 months. If this increment is in the company's favor, then it wouldn't be an issue, but if it isn't, then it might generate a loss. The same happens in the opposite case if the client is willing to pay the booking made on the website. The client is willing to pay, and the ratio between their currency and the one that our website has as principal currency might have varied, and this might result in both or either a major profit or a loss for the company. So in this context, it's important to mention that if the business is not willing to accept the risk of losing profitability in any of the previously mentioned cases, it is possible to apply a currency exchange rate protection, which we will explain later on, but it's an additional module that works for covering these exact situations. So how does multicurrency work? We have two options to work with the multicurrency module, and it's very important to make a distinction between these two, because both are called multicurrency, but depending on the type of your business, one might be more interesting for you than the other. The first one is called forced supplier currency. This module is used to return the sale prices in the supplier currency, being mostly used in the web service channel. Its main distinctive feature is that the availability results will come in different currencies. Therefore, it's like we force the channel to work in multicurrency. The other option is forced customer currency. This module is used to force the currency as chosen by the user, independently of the one that might be returned by the supplier. Therefore, in contrast with the previous module, the channel is not forced to work with multiple currencies, but instead all the prices will be shown in the unique currency chosen by the user or agency. So as you can see, with the first option, the user will see all the different prices according to the supplier price, and in the second option, or in the second type of multicurrency, they will have the option to choose which is the currency they want to see all the offers. These two previously mentioned modules will work with the currencies that are contracted as additional currencies, and in case there is non-contracted, they will be converted into the base currency. So to further explain how does it work, we'll see all the different flows that we have and had, in this case, for instance, without multicurrency to start. So depending on the supplier currency, it will be converted to the base currency of the sales channel, because without multicurrency, it depended on the default channel, which was the predefined currency. In the conversion to, well, we see here that the supplier works in euros, and we have two channels, one that is in euros and the other one that is in dollars. If we work in euros, there is no necessary conversion whatsoever, but for our sales channel in dollars, there is one. So in the conversion to dollars, we can notice this optional module of the exchange rate protection that we will explain further on. But basically here is the part of the process in which you are changing the euros into the dollars, so these prices can be shown in this sales channel. In the first place, the availability is shown in the currency that specifies the channel, as I'm explaining. Then the booking is made obviously in the same currency of the channel and in which the availabilities have been seen. And the payment is completed in the previously configured offer type or the customer agency configuration, whether credit, bank transfer, or payment gateway, but with the same currency. Now, this is the flow with multicurrency. We are showing the forced supplier currency type, and this is the one that as I mentioned before, keeps the prices of the supplier and each offer from them. So they operate in their own base currency. The availability results are shown in our channel in the same currencies in which each supplier may operate. The booking is made on behalf of the customer in the same currency of the selected offer, therefore keeping the supplier currency. So if the customer is seeing all the list with several currencies and they choose in one within a specific currency, then the booking is made in that currency as well. The payment is completed in the predefined type of offer for the customer agency configuration, whether credit, bank transfer, or payment gateway. And here we have the distinction between transfer and credit versus payment gateway, because in these two cases, the client is not paying at the same moment. So there is those 6 months we mentioned before. And this opens the room to maybe make some configurations if they pay in some specific currencies. Maybe they want to pay in another bank account, etc. But if they pay via payment gateway, the effective payment is immediate. So they need to have a previous configuration if there is any rule in case they pay it with another currency, or they just pay. So in the other case, with forced client currency, or forced customer currency, sorry, we see that is the end supply, the end user, the one who chooses which is the currency that they want to see the offers. So they go to the website and they send this query to the suppliers in one specific currency. For instance, they want to see all the results in euros. When receiving this request, the supplier will return the price in euros, which is called accepting this currency request, or they might not do that. They might say, I only work in dollars, or I can only return this price in dollars. In that specific case, your system would have to make that conversion into euros for you, because what you want is that your client sees all the prices in euros. And in the case the supplier accepts the currency request, there is no conversion required at all. And in case there is this need to make this conversion, it can be made in 3 ways that are configured in your intranet. The first one is simply a fixed conversion rate that you put a number and that's it. Then there is the option to have an automatic exchange rate that is renewed every day, or have this automatic exchange rate, but also have the additional module of currency exchange protection. So you are keeping your exchange rate competitive, but also you are ensuring that if there is any months between the booking and the payment, you won't lose money if the exchange rates have varied. After the request and the necessary conversions are made, the results will be shown in the customer's chosen currency, and the booking will be made, obviously, because they choose this for convenience in this step mostly, in the same currency as the one chosen by the end user. The payment is completed, as we explained it before, in the predefined type of offer of every customer agency configuration. Okay. So which added value does this module offer to your business? First of all, being competitive. The suppliers that do not sell in the base currency may apply a protective rate to avoid risks on their behalf, which would raise the product price for the business. The optimum situation is to contract directly in local currency. because this allows you to offer the cheapest product or obtain the higher profit or gain if the conversion rates that are applied are not also protective. So what do we mean with this? If the supplier is making a contract with a hotel in London, for instance, they will do it in pounds. So the most interesting thing is to contract directly from the supplier in this same currency. So you ensure that you are getting the best price. But of course, if you have to sell this product, maybe your clients wants to see this in dollars. So you have to make sure that if there is any kind of conversions in your site, this last point can be avoided without incurring into risk through the currency exchange protection. But this point is mostly referring to the advantage that keeping the same currency might result. Then, on the other hand, we have facilitate payment methods to your customers. If you force your customers to pay in the base currency of the business or in the supplier currency to avoid risk, you may lose sales opportunity for customers that do not have this payment currency or that are not willing to pay because it becomes too expensive when applying the exchange rate. Therefore, to facilitate the payment to your customers, you should offer the possibility of choosing and paying in their currency. So as you can see in this case, is referring to the forced customer currency because is referring to all those customers that want to choose in which currency they want to pay. This is mostly related to those business that are B2C, for instance, and they sell directly to the client. Of course, they don't have all the opportunity to pay in different currencies that maybe a company has. So this way to have the module is interesting. So as you can see, there is a bit of a trade-off between these 2 points because maybe one company that sells to other agencies via web service is more interested in the force currency supplier because it shows all the different currencies, and this kind of configuration is more interesting for the ones that are B2C. All in all, and the last advantage is avoid risks. Considering the previous 2 points, if we are flexible in the purchase or in the sales, we will be open to risks. So either it will be necessary to control the exchange rate manually, I will show this later, but it's not very useful, or to ensure yourself through the currency exchange protection. So now we will show you some of these things in this live presentation. It's estimated 15 minutes, but this time it will be a bit faster. Okay. So first of all, we'll join the intranet of your solution. Then we log in. Well, as you can see here, normally when you log in, you have the list of all the bookings made. And as we mentioned, there is this option to check the exchange rate for each reservation, for each booking. So you come to this part here, and in columns you have all the information that is showing in this table. So if you click on, for instance, the ID, you see that it disappears or it appears according to this. So if we click on travel start date exchange rate, for instance, you will have in here the exchange rates according to the first day of the booking. As you can see here, for instance, In this case, it's 1. And why is this? Because the booking was made in the same currency that it was showing. But for instance, this 1.22 is because the original price was dollars, but the client was paying in euros. Okay. So, well, one of the most important configurations that I will be showing is in master table currency. This is general currency configurations for the intranet, nothing new, but have a relationship with this topic we are talking about. So we can see here in the left side all the different currencies that have been created, but only a few are in bold letters. That means that they are functional. And at the bottom, we have new currency that allows you to configure any new currency. So when you click on any of the already configured ones, we can review the different things we have in this configuration. We see, well, the name of the currency, but one of the most important things here is this: update automatically the exchange rate. By clicking on this checkbox, as you can see here, this option will allow the system to perform an automated update from an external provider. As you can see, Sabre, xa.com, in a daily basis. So basically, we have here that 1 USD dollar is the same as this amount of pounds. And this number has been updated today just because we have this checkbox activated. Then show in public site, if you mark this option, you will see this currency displayed in the currency converter of the public site. We will show this later, but basically in the current demo design, it shows like a calculator in which you have all the current conversion rates for all the currencies that you can see here are in bold letters. Well, these are the most important things in this tab. Then we can change it, and we have here changes by date range. In here, this tab is thought for currencies that are not strong, where you can apply like a negative buffer. That makes that their effective value is lower, and so than the one that is being shown in an automatic way following the part explained before. So if you, for instance, put this minus 5%, this works as a cushion for this specific currency to ensure you are not losing money in any conversion. But of course, this is thought for weak currencies, and you can also configure for which dates this works. Future fixed currency exchange is even simpler to explain, because you are deciding very specific dates. For instance, well, you will be thinking in your high season, and you will determine a very specific exchange rate for these dates. In case you want to be 100% certain which is the one being applied for these dates. And then you have the history, in which everything is kept, and in this case we only see the daily updates that are automatic, but in case you had any manual change, it would be also in here. Now we can show briefly the configuration of an agency, for instance. this same agency, doesn't matter. But the important part here is to show that they have this option here, that is type of payment accepted. So this is their predefined type of payment, and it determines if they are paying at the moment of the booking or if they are paying later on. In case it is POS, then they would be paying at the moment. If not, they would be paying in prepayment or credit, which give us time to go to the reservation or the booking and maybe make changes depending on the type of currency they have paid, if it's required. And now we will go to our Juniper demo environment, and we will make a simple search because I want to show you the force customer currency that we have mentioned before. I will try to make the search again. I don't know why I didn't get any results. We have Madrid. Maybe the dates I selected. Okay. All right, so I made a normal search just looking for hotels in Madrid. And as you can see here, I'm receiving all the prices, all the availabilities in euros. But if I go to this tab, then I can select what currency I want to see the prices with. So I'm sending now to the provider another query asking for the prices in pounds. So what we didn't see here is that they could either return me the prices in pounds, or we had to make conversion in our system to show you these prices in pounds. And then this is the calculator I mentioned earlier as well, that shows you all the current conversion rates in case your client is wondering what's the one being applied. But also, maybe for this functionality, you find interesting to just keep the ones that are in these options, for instance. What we couldn't show you here is the force supplier currency. We couldn't make a test environment to show you that. And it would basically mean that you wouldn't have this option to choose any currency, and all these prices would be shown in the original contract or the original currency that the provider is working with and that is sending you the prices. So in this case, hotels in Madrid, chances are that most of these offers would appear in euros anyway, but you may have exceptions and see different prices according to the suppliers. So that would be the main difference. And that specific difference is particularly interesting for the web service. So without further ado, let's see if we have, first of all, any questions. I see we don't. In case you have any doubts after the presentation, do not doubt to contact us. We will show you our contact information later. And well, to sum up, we have two options to work with the multi-currency module. For supplier currency, this module is used to return the sale prices in the supplier currency, being mostly used in the web service channel. Its main distinctive feature is that the availability results will come in different currencies. Therefore, we force the channel to work in multi-currency. Then, force customer currency. This module is used to force the currency as chosen by the user, independently of the one that might be returned by the supplier. Therefore, in contrast with the previous module, the channel is not forced to work with multiple currencies, but instead all the prices will be shown in the unique currency chosen by the user or agency. These two previously mentioned modules will work with the currencies that are contracted as additional currencies. In case there is none contracted, they will be converted into the base currency. So in here you have the link to our landing page in where you will find, as you can see, all the same information we have in this presentation. This information is also available in your support page. If you go to support online, you have the list of all the different webinars made until the date. And in the page for this one, you will soon have this video available with this webinar. And last but not least, this video will be also available in our YouTube channel. You can search Juniper in YouTube, or simply go into our corporate website. At the footer, you have follow us in either LinkedIn or YouTube. If you click on YouTube, you will be sent there, and you have all the different webinars we have made until today, and also different corporate videos that might be of your interest. So here you have our contact information. I hope this presentation was useful and that you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.